Welcome back, and our guest remains Dr. Oladotun Mabinuri, economist and policy analyst. And we're looking at the impacts that the recent raising of the monetary policy rate by 150 basis points by the central bank to 26.25%, the effect that is going to have. By the way, for those of us who, quite frankly, are almost, we're blank when it comes to what all of these things are. The monetary policy rate, Dr. Mabinuri, is said to be the rate at which the central bank will do business with the commercial banks, and they will then put whatever it is on top of that. So when businesses come to them wanting loans, it's going to be higher to whatever the adjustment is. Is that right? And could you just shed a bit more light on how the monetary policy rate of CBN now is going to affect businesses that approach banks, commercial banks, for facilities?
Thank you, Pierre. There is this report of PwC in 2020 where they compared Nigeria and the SMEs in Nigeria and South Africa. And it was put forward that about 91% of businesses in South Africa are SMEs, while 96% are SMEs in Nigeria. And the SMEs in South Africa create about 60% employment, while they create about 84% employment in Nigeria. Again, they also put forward again that in terms of contribution to GDP, SMEs contribute 52% to GDP in South Africa and contribute 48% to GDP in Nigeria. So this is actually a critical economy, a critical driver of an economy, so to speak. 48% contribution to GDP is no joke. So whatever CBN is doing in terms of MPC and the likes, they actually have a direct impact on SMEs. So no, there's no doubt about that. Everybody knows that. In terms of cost of borrowing, by increasing the MPR, the monetary policy rate, so to speak, is the rate at which CBN lends to commercial banks. So let's assume that commercial banks add maybe 10%, for instance, because that's their own profit, to whatever rate they are, because the MPC is their own cost of borrowing, their own cost of doing this, their cost of sourcing fund. So they got this money at 26.25%, and they add 10% to it, that becomes 36.25%. The rate that they give to banks, to SMEs and the likes in the economy. So that means cost of borrowing has increased. When cost of borrowing increases, they transfer that to final consumer, provided that product is price elastic or price inelastic. They can conveniently pass that effect to the consumer. Some of them that can pass this effect to consumers will surely have what they call they could either retrench or go out of business. I will not despise that. I mean, close my eyes to that happening. But we can't say because one, two businesses or few businesses will have issues, then we shall allow the entire economy to collapse. If CBN has folded his hand and said, because I want to protect these SMEs or I want to protect these industries, then I shouldn't do what should be done. Then the entire economy will collapse on all of us. And when the economy collapses, there is no. You can't even play politics, you can't do anything, so to speak. So, so what we need now is the fiscal effect or the fiscal side of the economy or of the economy to minimize the effect of what CBN is doing. And I don't know if you saw the report of Mr. Wale Edun, the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister in Lagos Business School. I think they did a program called Breakfast Show in first week of April, I think around 3rd of April this year. And he actually highlighted some of the policies that they want to do. But this is fiscal policy. There is a long impact lag in fiscal policy, and see the effect of fiscal policy than see the effect of monetary policies. So until those things start begin to, it's like we want to stop importation of wheat, for instance, into Nigeria. If we plant wheat today and harvest tomorrow, it will take 9 to 1 year to 9 months to 12 months before we can't start harvesting wheat. So that's exactly what I'm saying. The policy lag will surely make all these policies look as if they are not working. But if Nigerians can be patient and see the fiscal policy team up with the monetary policy,
Okay.
then we have an economy all of us can be boastful of. We have an economy that all of us can be proud of at the end of the day. But if CBN has folded it down and say, no, I don't want to hurt some people, because whether we like it or not, unless you just want to play popularist economics here, some government policies will surely affect some people, and that's what will lead us to what they call the dichotomy between fallacy of composition and fallacy of division. We already actually point your attention to something that what we should used to be. While I was in school, while I was in the university, I used to buy textbook right in the middle of the road in Oshodi. That is, you will see booksellers putting their books on the road, and there will be no place to pass. And we already remember between Oshodi and Mushin, there was no. You can't pass that road to the end of the road. That until when Fashola came in 2007, I said, no, this cannot be the case. Then what will he do? What did he do? It's all those people selling books and selling things on the road. He sent them off and then made the road very accessible, and economic growth the economy around the should start improving. For instance, it is fallacy of division. Fallacy of division says that what is good for economy, is good for all of us as a whole, might not be good for individuals. Okay. And Fashola fixing that road, a lot of people have been sent out of businesses. Some of them have taken loans from banks to be selling books on the middle of the road. They could afford maybe a shop, have possibly gone back to banks, go back to the village, or something has happened to them. But in the long run, look at what Oshodi is today. The economy, the contribution to the economy has drastically increased. Now, fallacy of composition says that what is good for individuals might actually not be good for the economy. So the government has to go for that fallacy of composition and say, no, let me pamper these people, let me do what to hurt them. Then in the long run, the economy will collapse, and none of us will be worse off.
Indeed,
so
I
it is now
understand you.
very important for CBN to take some drastic measures, some policies that will possibly shake some of us, make us to possibly avoid some consumption or avoid some lifestyle, and make sure the economy in the long run grows.
Okay, let me come in. I beg your pardon, sir. I beg your pardon for interrupting you. I beg your pardon for interrupting you, but Kesandu in Owerri has been waiting for quite a while. Sorry about that. And thank you very much, Kesandu, for holding on. Go ahead now. Kesandu, good morning.
Good morning. I just want to talk to you.
Apologies for keeping you waiting.
No, it's fine, sir. I'm enjoying it and analysis. It's very well. You see, sir, I think the primary or basic end point of this whole thing remains the people that approach the banks, the commercial banks. So when we are being tortured in such a way that some of these rates are, I just listened to the analysis he made with South Africa, the 2010 thing he said about. And you know that when some of these policies are made, what is even in the minds of CBN? Who do they actually want in good favor? Who are they even thinking about? Because a situation where you make policies and Nigerians, at the end of the day, are the ones suffering the whole thing. Then what is the gain of the whole thing? Leave all those economic jargons that we speak. The thing is, the man on the street having a little business that wants to approach any commercial bank to get loans, what will be his effect? What will be his state tomorrow? And everybody's acting like nothing is happening. And the question is, I want to ask, in the course of this whole thing, what is the duty of the National Assembly? This meant that we are saddled with the responsibility of speaking for the people. Would they actually watch some of these policies adversely affect the people? I want to ask, what is the work and duty of the National Assembly watching some of these things happen unanswered, unchecked?
All right. Thank you very much, Kesandu, for calling in and commenting. Dr. Mabinuri, something that I think is important that you touched on, but it isn't generally popular. It's this matter of price control. So let me ask you, how efficient or effective are price controls? I remember we had a stab at it during the Civil War or in the aftermath of the war. But generally, I don't know if economists favor price control. Can it work?
Price control is actually a price mechanism, so a way of government regulating the price of goods and services in the economy.
Yes.
Fixing the price, that are the ceiling, what we call the ceiling price or the floor price.
Right.
They can give a price at which nobody should sell below, and they can also give a price at which nobody should sell above. So we have that in economics. But the issue of price control is we can't compare price control of between 1967 and 1970 during Civil War with what Nigeria population is today, how many stores would they go through to control it? So what I feel government should do in this instance is possibly subsidizing raw materials, not subsidizing final consumption, final goods and services. So if I know that, and again, making environment more, how do I put it now, more friendly, business friendly. And that is, if you check this Taiwo Oyedele report that is coming out anytime soon in terms of tax reforms in Nigeria, and you see that most of these SMEs that we're talking about will surely be protected. All the multiplicity of tax that they are doing will be protected. So when will be corrected. So that's why I keep saying, and I don't know why people don't seem to understand that. Maybe they should just ask themselves, can they name 5 items that their prices went up and the price again went back to what it was before now? You will find it difficult to control that. So what we need basically is affordability, ability to afford all these items that this increases. But we keep waiting that the prices should go back to what they were. We will not get there. And
Okay.
that is me.
But how do
being realistic?
But how do we address?
So in terms of price, sorry, sir.
How do we address what you are bringing up? The ability to afford. You've heard Labour, for instance, Nigeria Labour Congress, talk about it having worked out what is a real living wage. It goes back to matters of affordability. The average Nigerian worker, especially at the level they are speaking of, the minimum wage level, can hardly afford anything nowadays.
So that is where CBN needs to, federal government needs to come in by raising the minimum wage. In fact, it is long overdue. Everybody is expecting that. And that's why most Nigerian workers are feeling the impact of what is happening. And for SMEs, it is actually time for them to think outside the box to increase their source of income. Their channels of the launch of products by having more product to sell and then any more income in order to meet up with the increase in price of goods and services. So this is where I feel people should be ingenious, so to speak, by increasing their source of income. But if you continue waiting that the price will go back to where it was before, we'll surely in fact, it's just going to be a mere wish might not come to reality in the long run. So in terms of price control, I was saying the other time, it will be difficult, extremely difficult for price control commission to continue running after. If I come there today, tomorrow, I finish them up today. Tomorrow, they will open up, they start selling behind doors. And that is where greedflation comes in. Some of us might be looking at it, what is greedflation again? But it is staring at all of us right now. Even when the prices went down, you see sellers or suppliers still not reducing their price to what it was before now. Even when the factors that made them to the price have been reversed.
It looks like anybody and everybody can just name their price just anyhow, unfortunately.
So that's
and the market in that sense, the market appears to be quite perfect, because the moment one person does it here, I don't understand that perfection, everybody else picks up on it, and everybody else
will do the same thing.
And everybody starts doing the same thing. Let me bring in Emeka, who has called in. He's in the UK. He's watching in the UK. Good morning, Emeka. Please go ahead now.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Yori, and morning to your guest as well.
Thank you.
First, I'm very shocked and surprised that the gentleman talking about price control and all that. That is completely something that is unthinkable in a market-driven economy, like Nigeria, I believe. That should not be brought into any context at all. You can't be dictating to people who are selling their goods how they should be selling it, because the government does not provide anything to these people as far as I'm aware, number one. Number two, we can theorize on economics, every type of economics. The basics is what we do, which is the government should concentrate on providing electricity 24 hours, uninterrupted electricity to the Nigerian people. Once that is done, I can tell you, Mr. Yori, the Nigerian economy, within less than 5-6 months, will pick up and begin to compete with other economies. Okay. You cannot, under no circumstance, go ask any economist. You don't need to be a professor in economics to know this. You cannot grow any economy, and no economy in world history has ever grown where you do not have 24-hour electricity. It doesn't happen. It will never happen. So any theory you bring, CBN can do all the interruption with what they do, all the policies they want to bring. Let the Tinubu administration concentrate on providing Nigerians 24-hour electricity. That is what will help Nigeria's economic growth. Thank you.
Thank you, Emeka. Dr. Mavinuri.
Yes, sir. So you can see that is where the fiscal aspect will come in. For instance, do you increase electricity generation overnight? The answer is no. So that's why I keep saying that until the fiscal aspect catches up with the monetary policy, it will look as if monetary policy or monetary the tools are not effective. So for instance, if there is steady power supply, we all know the implication of all this, that economy will surely will be more than double in terms of growth. We'll start experiencing what they call two-digit growth rate. So one thing, and then the power, for instance, does not fall under the monetary policy, it's under the fiscal policy. So, for instance, insecurity in the Middle East, we're having a serious challenge there. That's why the food inflation continues driving inflation. So, until there is security in the Middle Belt, and then in the part of the northeast and the northwest, where the farmers can conveniently go to market without the fear of insecurity. Most of the bike men you see in Lagos today, or you see in other parts or in other cities, they are used to be farmers in their
and also fix the road network.
Because security,
and also fix the road
so
network.
Because there is insecurity, and there's no road to even get to the market. Uncle Yori, will it be surprising for me to will it surprise you if I tell you that about 40% of farm produce in Nigeria do not find their way to the market? Irrespective of the type of product being produced, go to Osun State and see the amount of cashew, tangerine, and the likes, all the fruits that are wasting in the trees. And these are cash crops. It's not something that you plant them today. They have been planted 30, 40 years ago, and they keep bringing that fruit on a yearly basis, but there's no harvest because there's no good roads to take them to the market. So when roads, for instance, are fixed, and fixed road overnight, when the roads are fixed, for instance, to all the nooks and crannies of the country, power is fixed, then we will not be here having this conversation anymore. That is when these monetary tools will surely become effective. I'm not going to start the impact. But the impact lag, and I keep saying that, will take time, and we cannot see that overnight. And that's why I think Nigerians need to be patient to a very large extent. It is not easy. We're all feeling the pain. We're all feeling this economic the implication of what CBN is doing.
Well, we're going to have to leave it there. Dr. Mabinori, I think that's as fine a place. That's as fine a place, Dr. Mabinori. We're going to have to leave it there. And I want to thank you very much for your sort of robust explanation of all these things that are happening to us, of course, to the country, but especially to the common man, the regular guy who doesn't know what's hitting him. You seem to have said that you're afraid it might get somewhat worse before it begins to get better, especially with your emphasis on a lot of the things that we need are not going to happen overnight. Thank you very much. Even though it was sort of dark news, but it's better to hear it and try and understand it. I want to thank you very much, Dr. Oladoto Mabinori, economist and policy analyst, trying to help us make sense there of the CBN's benchmark interest rate increase and the effect it's likely to have on us. So once more, Dr. Mabinori, thank you.
It's a pleasure being here.
All right, then.
You're most welcome, sir. Thank you very much for the time.
Indeed. So that's our program. Do please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folari. Bye-bye for now.